Every year, many of the thousands of tourists who visit Copenhagen are surprised to see God's name Jehovah, or its Hebrew counterpart, Yod-Heh-Waw-Heh, inscribed on castles and other buildings in and around the capital. For example, in the center of the city, the Dockyard Church, Hallmandskirke, has a gate that features God's name in large gold letters. The name also appears inside the gate on a commemorative plaque dated 1661. Within walking distance of the Dockyard Church stands a building called the Round Tower, Runetorn. On the outer wall, the divine name appears in large Hebrew letters as part of a sign in Latin. Translated, it reads, "Let Jehovah direct right doctrine and justice into the heart of the crowned king, Christian IV." How did God's name become so well known in Denmark? A major factor in the dissemination of God's name was the Protestant Reformation. European reformers such as Martin Luther, John Calvin, and Huldrych Zwingli made an earnest study of the Bible and its original languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Koine or Common Greek. As a result, they became familiar with God's personal name. "This name, Jehovah, belongs exclusively to the true God," said Martin Luther in a sermon. Nevertheless, when Luther translated the Bible into German, he adhered to the unscriptural tradition of rendering the divine name as Lord or God, thus using titles, not God's name. Later, Luther asked an associate, Johannes Bugenhagen, to prepare a version of Luther's Bible in Low German, the language spoken in northern Germany and southern Denmark. In his preface to the 1541 edition, the first edition was published in 1533, Bugenhagen made several references to the divine name, including the statement, "Jehovah is God's holy name." In 1604, a young theologian named Hans Paulsen Reysen spoke to King Christian IV about certain errors in the Danish translation of Luther's Bible. Reysen then asked for permission to prepare a new translation based on the original Hebrew and Greek texts. Permission was granted. In a note on Genesis 2:4, Reysen wrote that Jehovah is the supreme being, the only Lord. Genesis 2:4 contains the first occurrence of God's distinctive personal name in the original text of the Holy Bible. That name, which appears some 7,000 times in the original text, means He causes to become, thus identifying Jehovah as the one whose purpose is always accomplished. What He says happens. As the divine name became known, it began to appear in public places. For example, in 1624, after Hans Paulsen Reysen had been appointed bishop, he ordered that a plaque be installed in the Bronshøj Church. At the top of the plaque, inscribed in gold, is God's name in Danish, Jehovah. Also, on many of his writings as bishop, Reysen included with his signature the words, "Jehovah beholds." Toward the end of the 18th century, Johann David Michaelis' German translation of the Bible was published in Danish. This Bible, too, contains the divine name in many places. Likewise, in the 19th century, Bible translators Christian Kalkar and others incorporated the divine name in most of the places where it appears in the original text. Jesus Christ said in a prayer to God, "I have made your name manifest." John 17:6. And in his model prayer, sometimes called the Our Father prayer, Jesus said, "Let your name be sanctified," made holy. Matthew 6:9. As the religious history of Denmark shows, many have taken those words seriously.